Hello everyone, in this video I'll be showing you an OP level 100 blasphemous blade build in Elden Ring. What makes this weapon so good is the Taker's Flame skill that the weapon has. As you can see there, it can just shred through a ton of enemies and it'll also give you your health back. So I'll be going over the full build at level 100 and where to put the stats if you level up past this. So we obviously need to get the required 22 strength and 15 dexterity here, so we went with just the minimum stats there. You also need 21 faith. I would recommend putting a few more points into faith to get something like Golden Vow, which is a incantation that'll increase our overall damage and damage negation. I went with 50 vigor, but if you find you're better off with a little bit less, I just went with this because you heal often, so it's going to be nice to be able to get that there. 20 mind, you can go a little bit higher. I went with 27 endurance, which lets me get, you want to have at least 56 poise. This is important for resisting 2 light attacks, at the very minimum 51, and medium roll. So whatever armor makeup has to go there. I went with the Raptor's Black Feather to increase our jump attacks. If we want to add an extra weapon in the offhand, you'll also have to increase your endurance. And I would recommend like the Sword of Milos. But as for the Talisman, it's actually best to go with ones that are going to increase our damage when our health is at maximum. So the Ritual Sword Talisman, whenever our health is full, which is going to be often because we heal with this weapon, we're going to get extra health back. So we want to go with that. And also the Shard of Alexander, if you got that, to increase your weapon, your skill attack power. And then for the final talisman, you can go with the Carrion Filigree Crest, which is going to lower our FP consumption. So we got one that's going to boost damage and reduce the cost of it. And also the Dragon Crest Great Shield Talisman, but you can change that out for whatever. Now, I also have the Rotten Meat Dumplings here, because your Mimic will heal with these, so you can experiment with trying it out. It won't use your own items. And then you can also put something like a Fire Pot or a Scarlet Rot Pot, or even Sleep Pots if you're fighting the Godskin duo. So know your enemy and you can equip those and your Mimic will throw them as well. But the typical strategy is actually to go with our Golden Vow first, which is going to buff our damage up, as well as give us a bit of extra damage negation. And then Flame Grant Me Strength is going to be a huge damage buff. This is going to increase our overall damage and our fire damage, which this is what this weapon does. So now we're hitting for 2,000. We were previously hitting for 1,300, so a bit of a power spike there in terms of damage. And you can just see like the intensity of this weapon. You can stagger pretty much anything out of its attacks. So that is one beautiful benefit of the Taker's Flame, is it's going to be a good attack from the parry. They're kind of blocking enemies' attacks. As you can see there, they were trying to come at me, and I was able to take them out of their attack animation. So yeah, from a distance, you can just spam your Taker's Flames. At next level ups, I would recommend increasing your mind, because we don't have a whole lot to work with, so you will want a couple FP potions because you're going to want to regenerate it. But as I mentioned, the Sword of Milos is another good weapon, because in the offhand you can go with the Sword of Milos, which will regenerate your FP every time you take out an enemy. However, you will have to increase your dexterity to 19 to be able to equip this weapon, so it might not be worth it to you. But I missed it there. It's right here. So 19 dexterity required, and you need to put a little bit more endurance. It does have bleed buildup, so you could put on the weight mask and try to get some bleed procs as well for more damage. But again, the strategy is to just go Golden Vow, buff yourself up, Flame Grant Me Strength, and then you're going to be hidden like a truck. Like, this is a heavy charge attack here, 1,500, so it's pretty good. And then a fast attack, 1,800. And our weapon art is going to do a ton of damage too. So see there, it just takes everyone out. In my Wondrous Physic, I got the Fire Shrouding Cracked here, which is going to increase our overall fire damage as well. So this goes really well with it. It's shredding through enemies. Now he survived because he had his shield up, and it'll only proc a certain amount of damage because each shield has a percentage that it'll reduce of certain damage types. So that is one thing to note with the Albinarchs here. So a boss is just going to be taking straight fire damage. So as long as it's not someone like the Fire Giant, you'll be having a good time. But overall, the best strategy is just, yeah, work on getting your Blasphemous Blade lined up well with the enemies. If you're doing like PvE, or I guess even if you're doing player versus player, this weapon is almost outclassed in certain ways. But if you're going against bosses with this, it's all about just managing your own health. So if you want, you can also put a few points and get the Rot Breath, Dragon Rot, or the Scarlet Rot incantation, because bosses will lose their health over time, and then you can play a bit more defensively because there's going to be a self-healing aspect to this weapon. So sometimes I find that takes the pressure off of questing, because you can just rely a bit more on that. So as you can see, it's actually really good for hitting a large area, because the fire kind of spreads out from where you attack from. And that's really good because it's going to keep our health up high too, and that's what we want. I almost I also recommend doing jump attacks anytime you can, because that's just going to be a good way to break through shields. And also with this armor, it's going to give us a bit extra damage. But that is a level 100 build for the Blasphemous Blade in Elden Ring. If you found this video useful, please hit that subscribe button below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.